Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Monday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we all know that the Los Angeles Lakers started the first of their, I think, 6 or 7 game road trip because we know the Grammys are coming to Crypto.com Arena in downtown Los Angeles. And this is that time of year every year where the Lakers embark on their road trip. And what could be better than the Lakers starting off that road trip, going on the road to a hostile environment, even though I will say there was a more amount of Laker fans in the Golden State crowd than what I expected, because I don't know if because Golden State has not been typical of themselves, not just this year, but some of last year as well. And maybe some of the fans are becoming the star fair weather fans. I do not know. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, the Lakers came away by now, as we all know, with the victory. Great performance by GOAT James. We got a whole lot to talk about. As we all know, the Lakers won 145 to 144, but we got so much to dive into. I don't even know where I should start. I do want to talk about the lineup. We've been talking about that a whole lot, so stick with me. We're going to jump into that in just a minute because I got some good sound bites from Darvin Ham, from Anthony Davis, and from LeBron James, and of course my thoughts on this as well. We're going to get into all that, but I could not help but lead the show off today talking about none other than LeBron James and his performance. As we all know by now, LeBron James himself finished the game with 36 points, 20 rebounds, and 12 assists for the triple dub. I mean, the first Laker since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we know since Kareem been playing, we had a lot of great Lakers come through there. You had the likes of a Magic, who played with with Kareem, as well as, of course, Magic probably not going to get you 20 rebounds, but at the end of the day, he was tall, but he was more orchestrating offense. But all the great players like a Shaq, even though Shaq probably won't get you those assists, but Shaq was a good passing big man. But that just shows you how great of a player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was, because he was the first Laker since 1979. LeBron James, age 39, year 21, first Laker since 1979 to get you at least 30 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists. So LeBron James, he did that. And of course, he outdid that because he got 36 points and 12 assists. So that was a little bit better than the Kareem game. But at the end of the day, 14 out of 25 for LeBron James, 56%. He was 2 out of 4 from 3. Now, we do know that his toe was on the line for one of those 3-pointers in the first overtime. The first shot of the second overtime that you thought was a 3 because he came out on the business, but his toenail was on that line. So it ultimately counted as a 2, or he really would have been 3 out of 5 from 3. But at the end of the day, 2 out of 4, 50% is still good. But another number that has stood out to me the most is that of his free throw shooting as of late. He shot 100% last game and then 100% this game. 6 out of 6 from the free throw line for a one LeBron James. And of course, none other than those, more important than those clutch free throws at the end, because Steph Curry, and we'll talk about this too, because Steph Curry at the end of the game, at the end of the second overtime, hit a huge shot, and that was the 3 that really put them up by 2, because they were only down by 1. No, they were down by 2, and he hit the 3 to put them up by 1. So they didn't go for the tie. They went for the cutthroat, and he made it off a spectacular play. They set a good screen on him. Me personally, I think Jared Vanderbilt was fouled, but he probably embellished too much. I would have liked to see him fight through that contact on that, but instead he chose and elected to settle a little bit and hit the floor. And maybe that's why the refs didn't call it, because maybe you sold it a little bit too much. But nonetheless, that screen freed up a 1 Steph Curry, and we saw what Steph was able to do. Hit the 3 at the top of the key to give him his 46th point of the game. And of course, it was not enough, because it was still a little bit time left on the clock for LeBron James to get the ball, and ultimately they denied him getting the ball on the first time. They had to call a timeout. He was upset. They came back and ran the same pin down play again, and LeBron, of course, finagled his way to the rim. We almost had a reach in, but I think maybe it was Kuminga maybe reaching in to try to get it. But at the end of the day, he did his thing. And of course, Draymond ultimately fouled him at the basket. And of course, he went to the free throw line and sunk not 1, but 2 free throws to put them up. And at that point, you knew Golden State didn't have any other timeouts with only 1 2 seconds left. But, down the stretch of that game, I think there could have been some things that could have been avoided for these games going into overtime. One was Anthony Davis missing the foul on Draymond Green. As soon as Draymond caught the ball, you shouldn't even let him get it over to Steph and over to Clay for him to ultimately hit the three in front of Austin Reeves. And really, if I was coaching, Vanderbilt had been doing such a great job guarding not only Steph on a lot of the plays, but guarding Clay at times too, because he was ultimately, shutting both of them down when he was on them, because we know that's what Vanderbilt brings to the table. We're going to talk about Vanderbilt in just a minute here too, but ultimately, Vanderbilt was on Steph. He didn't get that shot to take it to the first overtime. He got it over to Clay, who hit that three, but I think LeBron James should have picked up Clay, and you probably should have just let Reeves try to guard Wiggins, just because, did a great job yesterday hiding D'Angelo Russell a lot of the times, because you had Vando coming over, so that would put, to guard the backcourt, so that would put the responsibility of D'Lo on other players such as a Kuminga and others. But he did a great job as far as doing what he had to do on offense and stepping up. And we're going to talk a whole lot about D'Lo, the rumors surrounding the trade, everything that we talked about previously on the previous shows. We're going to get into all that. But like I said, I would have been remiss if I did not lead the show off today with how great LeBron James played. And then, of course, we got Anthony Davis along with him. AD went down. You thought it was going to be a bad thing, and AD end up coming back in that fourth quarter and had a gutsy performance. And as you can see, AD 29 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks. And AD was 0 for 4 for 3. I would have liked for him not to shoot so many threes, but the threes he did take, he was open. One of them was in the corner that got blocked by Draymond. Who knows, that might would have been in, but that was a hell of a play by Draymond. But AD played big down the stretch. And of course, we didn't see a whole lot of Kevon Looney, because ultimately I think AD is going to handle his business against Looney. So Steve Kerr elected to go small and let Draymond continue to guard Anthony Davis. I don't know. Looney got 4 minutes. Maybe should have gave him a little more minutes and then let Draymond play that 4. But who knows? Maybe it's just stagnating the offense. He probably felt like he needed more shooters to keep up with what the Lakers were doing. And now I must talk about D'Lo for a minute, because D'Lo, once again, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Not shooting the highest percentage as D'Lo. He hasn't been just very accurate. I don't think he's shooting near 50% for the season. In the last few games, he's been hovering around 40%. Again, yesterday he was 8 out of 19 for 42%. But for 3, he's been outstanding. For 3-point line, he was 5 out of 8 from 3. That's damn good. 5 out of 8 from 3. But if you look at it, I just tell him keep shooting threes, man. Just keep shooting threes, because 5 out of 8 from 3, 8 out of 19 overall. So if you do the math, that means if he was 5 out of 8 from 3, that means he was 3 out of 11 from 2. Well, don't shoot 2s then. And I said this in my previous shows, and I know we had some correspondence with some of the subscribers out there. I appreciate you all interacting with me, but I will say this. I didn't say he was the best stop and pop. I was going to get the numbers for that, but I will say he did a big stop and pop 3 in transition and overtime to put the Lakers up by 1, I believe, with like 30-some seconds left when LeBron passed it to him. I think he did turn the ball over 2 times. But what I was saying about D'Lo is he doesn't have the athleticism sometimes to finish at the rim. So when he's in pick and roll situation, people playing drop coverages and he gets to the rim, he doesn't always have the ability to finish at the rim. His floater is not right where it should be in order to finish over bigs, because when he gets to the rim, a lot of time he may get his shot blocked, or he may do a pick and roll, and you'll see he has to come out of that pick and roll and reset and run another play. But what I did notice on yesterday, there was a lot of high screens being set by D'Lo and LeBron back and forth, where LeBron has set the screen, get it to D'Lo, D'Lo set the screen, get it back to LeBron, and they were both taking and making threes from out there on the left, right, and top of the key, the left and right wing, and from top of the key. So I can see they starting to get a little more familiarity with each other, and they're playing a lot. And if D'Lo can continue this good play on offense, I say keep the Lakers as is. And that is kind of like the segue that I wanted to get into as far as talking about the lineup, what we've been talking about. Now, didn't I say this a couple of games ago? How in the world did we get Darvin Ham to finally realize that the starting lineup that he's been using has been successful? Not the starting lineup, but the best lineup that he's been using is that of the starting lineup that took you so far in the Western Conference last year, which is D'Lo, Austin Reeves, Vando, LeBron and AD. And, Torian Prince on yesterday, I think I got his numbers here. Torian Prince, 25 minutes, 0 from 2, 0 points, 0 from 1 from 3, 0 points, and was ultimately a minus 21. And then if you look at Vando was a plus 29, had the highest plus minus of any Laker on the floor on yesterday, a plus 29, 6 out of 8 from free throw, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists still. That's a good game for Vando. At the end of the day, you're talking about, 3 steals too. And then Vando, he just puts his stamp on the game. He has so much athleticism. He's such a long wing player who can just get in the lane, tip balls. Like you can just tell the way he fights crazy away. The times when he was guarding Clay, and we know Clay is such a maestro at running around screens, and so is Steph, just running all over the court and tiring you out. And Vando just stuck with them time in and time out and made life miserable for them. And we know Steph, when Vando wasn't in the game, that's when Steph was really getting off most of the time. But man, when asked after the game, they were asking AD, hey, AD, this lineup with you, Vando, LeBron, AD, AR, and D-Lo has been the perfect lineup, and that's what you went with last year. And we noticed that y'all getting major minutes, and when y'all on the floor, everything is looking very good. Do you think that should be in the starting lineup? And Anthony Davis couldn't help but have this smirk on his face and keep saying, hey, that's for coach to answer. That's for coach to answer. You understand? And then, also, when asked after the game, they asked Darvin Ham about it. They said, so what are your thoughts on this particular lineup that you've been using in clutch lineup down the stretch, and at times throughout the game, this looks like it's been very successful, and was that lineup last year that had you very successful? And they said, what do you think about that? And you know what Darvin Ham's answer was? Look it up on YouTube, and then you'll see that I'm not lying. You know what his answer was? I'm thinking about getting a glass of wine, getting something to eat, and taking some nap and getting a rest. Because he deflected and didn't want to answer the question, and then said, please, no lineup questions. Damn it, coach, that's your job. If the media asks you, what about it? And you could have just easily said, that's something we'll take a look at. Because you need to take a look at it. Don't act like you're above being questioned because of the poor decision-making you've been doing in regards to rotations. Now, you knew that this was the most successful lineup because you saw what happened last year. And then coming into the season, you said that it was a toss-up between Vanderbilt and Hachimura, who was going to get that starting spot, because we knew Hachimura brought a little more than what Vando does on offense. Actually, a lot more, because of the way he can hit threes and his ability to also finish at the rim too, and create for himself. Unlike Vando, he's more of a cutter, slasher, and can play off the ball. But at the end of the day, Vanderbilt, to me, need to be starting over Hachimura, and of course, Torian Prince. Torian Prince doesn't have the athleticism. So when you have a Torian Prince out there, then you're going to lack the athleticism that you need. I mean, he plays decent defense. I like Cam Reddish was playing defense better than he was, but you're talking about Cam Reddish and a 2-guard that's what a minimum paid player. When you have somebody such as a Jared Vanderbilt, who you give him more money to, who can go out and lay it all on the line, and he just has that chemistry, man. He got that chemistry with LeBron. LeBron found him on some nice bounce passes. He always got his eyes open and ready, because when the LeBron draws and double teams and draws in extra eyes on him, Vanderbilt finds a way to get open. So to me, if you had to do it like this, man, you need to go ahead and start Vanderbilt in that starting lineup, and you need to start the lineup that was last year. And I say keep the team in place as you have. I mean, if you can get rid of some players, bench players, to get somebody that you might feel a need for, as a backup center, but you got Christian Wood, who's been playing pretty good as the latest. Your backup center, you still got Jackson Hayes in emergency purpose. I just say ride with what you got, man. That's been the Lakers' problem a lot of times. They keep trade, trying to fix this and fix that. You did that last year. You brought this group in and they excelled together. So then you added a couple of pieces around them, such as a Gabe Vincent, unfortunately, who hasn't been able to play, and Hachimura, who's been dealing with injury. But it's a lot of time to get right, man, to gel together. And I think the Lakers are finding that out. And I've predicted they're going to win tonight in Houston, to go 2 games above 500, and then they're going to keep moving up in the standings. The Lakers are going to be looking for that 5th or 4th spot by the end of the season, as long as they continue to play like this. D-Lo, like I said, when he was off with that tailbone, when he was off, with the tailbone injury. He said he looked out and saw what he should have been doing. He needs to be more of a scorer than a facilitator. He said he kept trying to force plays and get the ball to LeBron and AD when he should have been looking for shots for himself. I can tell LeBron is comfortable with him. As you can see down the stretch, a lot of times D'Lo was the one initiating the offense, and LeBron James was glad that he did so. So at the end of the day, he gonna hit them threes. He's been on the tear from the 3-point line. And I said coming into the preseason, if you go back and watch my first 2 shows of the season, I said in the preseason, D'Lo 3-point shot was looking fantastic, and I had high hopes for him, but he went on a cold streak. Then we know Coach put Austin Reeves on the bench, so him and Austin kind of play off each other. As we all know, they have a great friendship. So, they lost a lot of their continuity. Then Hachimura got hurt, so I don't know what the world Darvin Ham was really doing. But at the end of the day, everybody had a good game on yesterday for the Lakers. AR, he was only 4 out of 14, only 29%. Clay was clamping him up for a good portion of the game. Still finished, by getting to the free throw line, he still finished with 17 points and 2 rebounds and 6 assists. But at the end of the day, a lot of the crying about the free throw disparity, man, I don't want to hear about it. I went back and I watched the game twice, and I was trying to see, from an unbiased nature, and, the Lakers were getting fouled. That's just what it is. They were playing good defense without fouling. That's what good defensive teams do. I will say it was a call, that one call down the stretch with like a minute or so left in regulation, or either the first overtime where Steph Curry was boxing out Anthony Davis for a rebound, and it was minimum contact. They both was kind of going at it, and they called a foul on Steph to put AD at the line to make 2 free throws, but he only made 1, putting them up by 2 with like a minute left. That could have been an iffy call. It could have been a play on other than that. But then I don't think Warriors fans have a reason to complain like Steve Curry. My mother's in the audience, so I don't want to talk about how the Lakers did this, how Curry only had 3 free throws all game. Bro, Steph Curry shooting threes all game. That's how. LeBron James constantly get games where he only get 2 or 3 free throws. He only had 6 free throws all game. And stop crying. Y'all had like 3 or 4 technical fouls. Defensive 3-second call that led to a couple of those free throws. But at the end of the day, what about Draymond Green slapping AD across the face? It could have easily been a flagrant, but they let him not do it so they can keep you guys in the game. And then when Vando was saying rewind it, man, if y'all ain't seen it, pull up the YouTube short on that where Vando was saying rewind it for the flagrant, and Draymond came over there doing all this looking crazy with his ugly eye. But anyway, man, there was the inadvertent whistle. I think the Golden State Warriors benefited from that, even though they ended up winning the jump ball. But that was a 3 for Clay. They said he stepped out of bounds, but said he didn't. And then the Lakers were going to get the rebound, and ultimately y'all got that. So, it was different things, like that could have went that way. But at the end of the day, I just feel like, it was a pretty decent call game. I don't say one, I'm saying that as unbiased as I can, but at the end of the day, man, the Lakers played a hell of a game. LeBron James played a hell of a game. They got some big role games coming up, and I am looking quite forward to it, man. So if you haven't done so already, hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe. And as always, man, this has been your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real, and much love to these haters. I'm out.